Well, it's camping season finally, and we're getting ready by making sure all of our gear is in place and ready to go. And one of the most important things on the campsite is access to fresh, clean water when and how you need it. So something like a portable sink is really important. And today I'm going to be telling you about this one right here. It's called the Mighy Sink. It's an all-in-one solution with an electronic faucet and pump. It holds 2 gallons of water and really makes campsite water easy and accessible whether you're washing dishes, washing your hands, brushing your teeth, or preparing for a meal. So stick with me in this video as we go through all the features, components, we assemble it, and talk about what I really think of it. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the features and specs on the sink. Get it out of the carry pouch. What you're gonna see has just a regular handle on top, Velcro holding it together. This is not something you're gonna get with most portable sinks. I've got several and none of them have a carry pouch like this. So that is an added benefit. Got the Mighy Sink logo around front. If you flip it over, we can unzip and it opens wide all the way back. So we can just pull the sink out. Now they do have a storage pocket right here as well. I don't currently have anything stored in there, but if you wanted to put soap or just anything extra you wanted to take along with you that went with the sink, that would be a good place to put it. But for now, since we're not even really set up for the first time, we have nothing in there. So we'll just take it out of the bag. Not hard to get out of the bag because it does have such a wide open mouth. Now you'll see it also has a cover on the top. There are elastic bands all the way along the bottom to hold it tight. Not sure what the purpose of this is other than just looking really tidy. You're not really going to store anything up here, but I guess you could if you had this on top. So just so you see it in reverse order, really easy to put back on there. It does have defined corners. You can stick it back on there. Keeps it looking nice and tidy. We've got a silicone cover for our fill hole. This is where our fresh water is gonna go in. You can keep that covered when you're not using it. This is where our faucet's gonna go, and this is our drain hole. Now underneath here, we've got all of our accessories stored, and you just kind of press these blue buttons here and pull up so the top just comes off. You'll see it's all one piece, nice sturdy plastic. Underneath, you have both your fresh tank and your gray tank and all the accessories stored underneath here. You've got a water seal that runs down the middle, and we have yet to set this up. So we're gonna go ahead and go through that process. I'll show you all the little pieces that come with it along the way. You've got these hooks that are gonna hang each one of the accessories, like this shelf on the side. And then on the other side, we have a paper towel holder, soap pump here. And then we have our basket strainer for the sink that's gonna go right in here. So here you have your drain plug. Now I notice it does not go all the way to the bottom of the basin, you'll see here. So it's not going to drain perfectly every time without some gravity help. I wish that was a little lower, but I understand you can't get a drain all the way to the bottom of your basin. Hey, if you're interested in the Mighy Sink, I've got a link in the description below. And if you're new to the channel and not yet subscribed, make sure you do that because we make great videos like this every single week. All right, so let's go ahead and put the top of the sink back on and start putting all our accessories in place. Now, one thing I do want to mention is that intuitively, you would think when you put the top onto the basin, you would push down and these little locking tabs would click in here, but that's not the way it works. Come on in close and get a look at this. You have to push these down and then press in to lock until you hear a click. That's something that it took me a few minutes to get. Then you have to pull out to unlock them so you can remove them, but just pushing down, they're not gonna lock. You need to press in on them on both sides. So we're gonna go down, push in, and they lock in. So just remember that. Intuitively, I thought that they would just lock in as I press down. All right, so for the shelf accessory, you'll see these holes on the back corresponding with these little tabs on the back of the hangers. So what we're gonna do is hang our tabs right here on the side of the sink. Then we're gonna take these tabs, go in and press down. They'll lock in right there. On this side, in and down, you're locked in. Now you've got a nice sturdy shelf. You can also pick it up and keep it this way because they hold pretty sturdy to the back of the accessory. You could probably leave it there in between uses, just storing it in the basin. Same thing on this side for paper towel holder. We've got 2 hooks and it's just gonna slide into place in and down. And there's our paper towel holder. Let me grab some paper towels and stick on there. And it's a friction fit paper towel holder, so it just holds it nice and tight. When you go to pull a paper towel, it's not gonna unroll all out. Then just take it off like that. But this bar in here holds it tight from the tube on the inside. There you have it. So you've got paper towels here, you got a nice little tray here. Now we're ready to put our faucet in, which I've taken out and charged, but I left in the box so we could take a look at all the little pieces that come with it. So this is the faucet itself. It is battery powered. So there's a battery inside here, little button on top. You've got a power button, and then there's also an auto stop. So you can press this as an on-off button, but you can also hit this button and it will run for 10 seconds and then it'll shut itself off. That conserves water so you don't sit there and leave it running. Charge it on the back here with a USB-C, got a nice little weather protective door there for the USB-C port. And this will go right here in the center. But before we do that, we need to get the tube out from the box. So it does come with a USB-C cable if you don't have one already. And it also comes with a few tubes right here. Now these tubes are going to feed down into the fresh water side of the basin, and there's a little tab underneath that you can lock it into. So you simply want to unravel your tube there, make sure there's no kinks in it, and you can attach it to the bottom of the faucet like this. Just a nice tight attachment. There we go. Push it up as far as you can go, seated all the way up there. Then we're simply going to feed that down into the hole, unlock. Probably easier if the accessories are off, but we already have them on. And this is the important part. Come look down in the basin here. You want this end not just to dangle, but to come right here on the corner. See this little piece in the corner? We want to place it on this piece. It simply holds the tube straight up and down at the bottom of the basin so it can suck as much water out as possible. We're going to place the top back on, lock it down, and there you go. We are all together. Now the only thing we need to add is our little soap dispenser. And if you wanted to, you could put your rack up here like this. It just simply sets on one side. So if you're drying or anything like that, then it's right here on the side. You could set a dish up here to dry and just drain down in. Notice we've already put our basket strainer right here in the middle. That's important so no big debris will go down into your gray water tank. But yeah, that's the Mighy Sink assembly. So let's go ahead and get some water, fill this thing up, and test the operation. Now this little silicone topper is our freshwater hole, and I like that they give you a larger hole than just kind of a drain spout opening to fill it up with. The back of this basin is the 2-gallon fresh tank. The front is the gray. They are separated by a weather seal. So let's go ahead and take this off, put it here in our shelf, and I'll get a hose to fill this up. But a really easy way to do this is to get some gallon jugs of water at the grocery store, and then that way you know how much water you're putting in there so you don't overfill. But there is a fill line conveniently located right next to the opening. So if you're filling with the hose, you can watch that. All right, we've got our hose here. Let's go ahead and start filling up our basin. All right, we're getting close to our fill line here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and shut it off, and then that way we are definitely under the line. And now let's test out the faucet. And of course we want to put our cap back in the freshwater opening so nothing gets in there. And now we're ready for the moment of truth. Is this faucet gonna work? Power? Hey, look at that. It's nice and quiet too. I don't know if you can pick that up on the microphone, but nice and quiet. It's got a gentle little stream. It's not a continuous stream. It's broken up, which is kind of nice. I mean, you're here, you're washing your hands. That's a nice flow. It kind of wants to widen as it goes down toward the drain. Then when I'm done here, I just press stop, or like we said before, we can hit the 10-second stop button up front. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, maybe I started counting a little late, but yeah, that seems right on. 10-second stop. This thing seems to work extremely well. And I would think this battery has to last at least through a day or 2 days, 3 days, whatever you're using it for. The one thing I also wanted to test is whether or not we could turn this slightly, because with our rack on here, centering this faucet is going to get pretty close to that. So let me put the rack back on and then we can test kind of tilting the faucet. All right, so here's the rack. This is where it would go. And I guess you could put it on either side, but we're just going to put it on this right-hand side. And you see what I mean? This would kind of put you right here and make it hard to wash dishes. But if you simply turn this, yeah, then you've got all this room over here to wash dishes, do whatever you need to do. And then you've got your rack over here for drying. Got our soap right there. I think this is really well put together. It seems to drain nice, and we're even on the back of my tailgate, which is tilted backward toward the faucet, and it still seems to drain completely fine. We're nice and dry around our drain on this side. And real quick, I just want to take this top off to show you what it looks like underneath with water in the tanks. So we've obviously got our fresh side here, and then our fill line right there. There's a gasket in between, so there's no leakage. And then this is your, what we call gray water, your used water, and your drain. All right, let's go ahead and transfer some more water on here so we can practice draining this thing a little bit. Okay, so we have let this sink sit here and run for probably 3 to 5 minutes straight. It's a really low output sink, so I think 2 gallons is gonna last a long time. It's a nice stream, but it's not overly pressurized or really heavy so that you're gonna use up your water really quickly. So let's go ahead and turn this off here. We'll turn it to the side. And what I'm gonna do as I drain this is I'm gonna be very careful to only take the cap out, which I actually did take a pair of channel locks and tighten down this nut here. It helped tremendously with that problem of everything wanting to come out in the drain assembly. I'm gonna tilt this a little bit because my tailgate is tilted backward, and I think you're gonna need help with gravity because it is a few, maybe 3/4 to an inch off the bottom. So we're simply gonna take the cap off here, and you'll see water's already starting to come out. And this is how you would drain. And you would help it with a little bit of gravity. Of course, you'd want to do this away from your campground, or if you attached a hose to the end here, you could run it as far away as you wanted and just leave it hooked up. Yeah, then when you're drained, simply place your cap back in, nice and easy. And just finger tight is enough. This had no leaking problems and seemed to hold just fine. And just for reference, wanted to pull out the tape measure and show you just how large this is. So your basin is gonna be about 8.5 inches high when fully assembled. It, from the middle portion, is about 22 inches wide. And then if you include everything in it, you're looking at maybe 32 or 33 inches wide. The depth is about 17.5 inches deep. So it's not very big, but it's generous enough that you could actually use it on a picnic table or a camp table washing dishes and just leave it out for your entire weekend or a couple nights that you're out camping. I like this size. I like the depth of the basin. You don't normally get a basin this deep with a camp sink. A lot of them are very shallow and very small. In fact, I've tested a few others where the basin was only about half the size. I think this is a good size. I'd rather have something a little bit bigger. 2 gallons is a nice amount of water. I think it transfers really well, and I think it really has enough accessories on it to make it useful. I mean, every time you're using a sink, you're going to need something to wipe your hands with. You're going to need some soap. You're going to need a place to put extra things like extra soap, and maybe your silverware is drying over there or something like that. This drying rack, that's also a really neat idea. I didn't even think that I might need that. Oftentimes I just dry them by hand, but it's easier if you just stick them in the drying rack. So overall, I'm really liking the electric faucet. That's a nice addition. I've used some others that are pumps or maybe just manual with a foot pump, but this is really handy because With USB-C compatibility, if it died, I could throw it in my truck with a phone charger and charge it back up. And the components of the pump were really quiet and smooth. I like the spray head out the front, just the consistency of that stream of water. And overall, I could highly recommend this. I think it would fit in nicely to a weekend camping setup, an off-grid setup. Even if you just wanted to use this out of the back of your truck like we have it right now, if you wanted to keep it there for, let's say you were going out and doing something, but gonna eat before you left or when you got back, this would be a great place to just wash your hands and stay clean. Well, thanks for watching today's video about the Mighy Sink. If you're interested, I've got links in the description. As always, go check that out for yourself. I really think it's a worthwhile investment if you're going camping to have a portable sink or something to take water with you at the campsite, because jerry cans are simply not going to cut it. This makes it more fun and accessible, keeps hygiene up, which keeps people happy as always. So thanks for watching. My name is Joel. This is the Traveler Toolkit, and I'll see you in the next video.